Hey everyone, welcome back to Tavern Sports Cards. Greg here, and this is a little bit of a different video of something I kind of wanted to share on the channel with you guys so you can kind of see some of the stuff I'm working on and doing. Recently I've started trying to go through a bunch of older cards, and as you can see here in front of me is the Fleer 1991 set. There's a lot of cards here. It was a huge set, actually. I think it was a 720 card set that a lot of people called the Yellow Monster, is what it was called back in the time. And of course, this is during the junk wax era of, baseball cards and everything else. And I believe this actually was the last year, the 91 set. But this was the last year that the actual wax packs were wrapped in the melted wax paper or whatever. I think they started using the other stuff after this, so this was kind of technically the last wax wrap. But these cards, this was a set. I've been going through a lot of cards from my dad that I kind of inherited when he passed away, and I got boxes and boxes of cards, and I've been kind of slowly going through some of them, trying to pick out some cards that are nice ones or valuable ones or whatever. And of course, a lot of his collecting went on during the late 80s, early 90s, which that is the junk wax era. So a lot of the cards really are not worth very much. And I just thought I would kind of show these because it's kind of interesting. Is I got a bunch, this is one of the factory sets. And I mean, these cards are like brand new. I mean, they're, right out of the box, brand new, all of them. And it's kind of neat going through these, seeing some of these old cards, and I've kind of been going through and pulling some of the ones out that were players that I know that I was familiar with that are worth a little bit, and I thought I would share a little bit of it with you guys. Now, unfortunately, the funny thing is probably the most valuable card that comes in this set is the Ken Griffey Jr. And I actually have the card, but I had already moved it around somewhere and I've misplaced it. I have it in one of my boxes. I'll find it later, but I just didn't want to waste time, trying to find that one particular card. But I do have it. I do have the whole set. And these are just some of the notable cards I thought I would pull out. A lot of these cards, the funny thing is that, like I said, the Ken Griffey Jr. is probably the most valuable card, but it is even only worth like maybe $40 or somewhere in that neighborhood. So really almost none of these cards are worth getting graded, because especially with the way grading has the cost has increased so much. I mean, maybe a couple years ago when you could get a card graded for $10, some of these would have been worth it. Maybe this Bo Jackson is maybe worth, could be worth, $30-$40 or something like that. But now when it costs you, about the cheapest you can get a card graded is about $30 or $25. You really can't make any money off any of these at all. But I like the cards. A lot of people don't like this design. I always thought it was kind of neat. I mean, I don't know. I like it. It kind of reminds me of old school cards. And I do kind of like, one thing I miss on some of the newer cards is on the old cards how they showed you, more detailed stats and little write-ups. You get a little alternate photo. I just think those are kind of neat. But, like some of the notable cards from back during this time period, Bo Jackson, Frank Thomas, Mike Greenwell, is from around this area here where I live. He's from Cape Coral, Florida. Actually has a little fun park here, like a batting cages and putt-putt golf and stuff. Kirby Puckett, Roberto Alomar, Gary Sheffield, Will Clark, Eddie Murray, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. Got them together. Here's an interesting card. It's pretty nice card. Ken Griffey and Barry Bonds together on a card. Second generation stars. That's kind of a neat card, really. I think. I think that's a pretty cool one. I wouldn't mind getting that, put in a case or something like that. I just think that's kind of a cool looking card. And then these are some special inserts. Now the white bordered inserts, they did these cool inserts. They had these cool, like cartoony effects and stuff that I thought were really neat. There was two different types. There was the white border ones and the black border ones. Now, the white border ones, it was a set of 4, and I got all 4 of them right here. And these 4 came in the factory set. So you had a Barry Bonds, Ricky Henderson, a Ryan Sandberg, and a Dave Stewart. Now, in the regular, I guess, packs, there was black border, and I think it was a set of 8. But most of the cards I have here, and I going through my dad's stuff, I'm sure he has some of the pack stuff too. But you know, this was the first thing that I went through, was going through this actually factory set, and so this was kind of a neat thing here. I think these cards are really cool looking. You know, they're got some info on the players on the back. I just think they're just, it's kind of a cool set. This would be kind of like a cool set to, you know, put them all together in a picture or something like that. That's pretty neat. This is, of course, one of the infamous cards from my understanding of this Jose Uribe. This card, and I think the 1990 card is maybe the one too that's kind of famous, but if you look this card up like on eBay, there's a couple people on there trying to sell it for like $4,000, but if you actually look at sold, you know, people are really selling it for, you know, $5 or something. The deal with this card supposedly is there was it's a printing error at his birth date. Right here you can see it says January 21st, 1960. I guess his birthday is actually like in 59 or something like that. So it is an error. They do have the wrong birth date on here, but I don't think that necessarily makes the card worth a whole lot. And I believe he was from Dominican Republic, and I think he died in a car crash in Dominican Republic, I think. But yeah, I don't think the card's actually worth anything. If somebody wants to give me $4,000 for it, I'll definitely sell it, but I don't think it's really worth anything. I mean, like I said, this is brand new right out of the factory sealed set. So if anybody has a $4,000 when I do, because this sucker just came out of the factory box, you know, a little while ago. A couple other things that they did, these were kind of neat too, is they did like an 8-card series here that was cards from the World Series of the year before. And, you know, kind of showed you, you know, some pivotal moments within the game. And it was kind of neat because they showed you the, it kind of tells a story on the back relaying the whole World Series, which is kind of a neat thing. So that's kind of a neat little set there. And a couple other little cards here too that I pulled out: Nolan Ryan, Barry Bonds, Randy Johnson, John Smoltz. I believe that's Bo Bichette's dad, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Oral Hershiser, and of course Roger Clemens, which was one of my dad's favorite players from that time period. He collected a lot of Roger Clemens and a lot of Ken Griffey Jr. and stuff like that. So, but yeah, anyway, like I said, this was a huge set back in 91, a 720 card set. You know, it had a few little variations like you saw there that were kind of cool. Definitely had it, and they also did have different variations from the factory set to the actual packs. But it's kind of an interesting set. Like I said, it's not worth very much. I mean, really, I honestly think that probably, you know, raw, there's not a card hardly in here maybe other than the Ken Griffey that's worth more than $20. Everything in this set is pretty much, I mean, I believe I read somewhere that the print count was estimated at over 3 million copies of each card in this set, which is how much they were overproducing it back during that time period, which is pretty crazy. So anyway, I just thought I would share this. I have a bunch of other boxes. I got boxes and boxes of cards I got to go through from my dad, and you know, a lot of stuff. A lot of 88 Dun Ross, 89 Dun Ross, a lot of Upper Deck. I got he collected gazillions of the 91 Upper Deck, I believe it was. Just tons and tons and tons of it. So anyway, a lot of that stuff is not worth anything, but I'm still going to go through it, pull some of the good stuff out, and kind of hold on to it. Not necessarily looking to turn a big profit on any of it, because there's really none to be turned. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time in the tavern.